What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Sunday, August 31st. Saturday went pretty great across the board for us, guys. We did not have an MLB video, but our premium MLB picks over at StumpTheSpread.com, not my picks, our expert at Stump the Spread, he killed it, guys. He went 3-1 overall, hitting on his biggest play of the day. It was a 5-unit play on the Phillies. They won that one 3-0. We had the Rangers. They won in a 3-2 walk-off win. That was a 3-unit play. We had a 2-unit play on the Dodgers. They came through late in that one to win 8-6 over the Diamondbacks. They had 18 hits, only 8 runs in that game, so shouldn't even have been that close. His only loss, guys, was on the Royals. That was a 5-2 loss. Kikuchi absolutely dominated out there, and Rangans continues to struggle a little bit for the Royals. So 3-1 there. Very, very solid. Also, guys, if you were in on our college football plays, I had a crazy good first day of college football action this season, guys, going 7-1 through my first 8 games. There's one still going on, that Arizona game. We'll see if it hits, but regardless, a very good day out there across the board. Let's get after it here for the last MLB Sunday before the NFL season gets underway. Before we jump into the games, though, guys, hit that like button. It helps me out and the channel a ton, and it's a big thank you for putting out all of this free content every single day. If you're new around here or haven't already, subscribe to the channel for free to get notifications on our daily uploads. You can now sign up for a channel membership. We're working on some members perks for the channel, so stay tuned for those. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering MLB, NCAA football, UFC, and the NFL. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up, and also join our free email list to get the occasional free pick or premium pick straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day, the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Brewers come into this game playing pretty well, guys. Seems like they've righted the ship here now, winning their last 5 in a row, including the first 3 games of this 4-game set. Milwaukee cruising along there in first place in the NL Central. They're going to be giving the ball to Tobias Myers in this game. He's 6-5 this year with a 2.99 ERA. His last start against the Reds, he was lights out, going 7 1/3 innings, giving up 3 hits, striking out 9, and giving up 0 runs in a game we eventually saw the Brewers win 1-0. So great stuff from him. Expecting him to have a good start in this one. Also expecting good stuff from that Brewers bullpen, second in the majors, actually tied for first place in the majors with a 2.80 bullpen ERA. The offense seems like it's figured things out as well, guys. They've scored 5, 14, 5, 6, and 5 runs over their last few games. Not incredible numbers, but they'll definitely get the job done. This is still a top 5 or 10 offense, although I have some question marks about how they'll fare in the postseason with Yelich gone, but we'll just have to wait and see. In this one, guys, they're taking on the Reds, who come into this game obviously losers of their last 3 in a row. Not off to the start they were hoping for this series. They are buried down there in the depths of the NL Central, guys. We don't have a confirmed starter yet for the Reds either. If they end up going with a full bullpen start, generally speaking, we would have been pretty happy about that, but guys, we've seen this bullpen be in a free fall. They are down to middle of the pack in the majors with a 3.94 bullpen ERA. Gone are the days of this being an absolutely elite bullpen. So definitely big concerns there for the pitching situation with the Reds in this game. Also, I'm always going to be concerned about an offense that's 26th in the majors in batting average and 23rd in on-base percentage. They've scored 4, 0, 4, and 10 runs over their last few games. Not necessarily swinging the hottest bats. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Brewers at -130, the Reds at +110. We've got an over-under of 9.5 out there. Milwaukee is 39-31 on the road. Cincinnati is 32-38 at home. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under, and I'm not really interested in the over-under in this one, guys. It's a little bit rough. We would be taking the Brewers to end up with a 4-game sweep here, but with how well they're playing and how bad the Reds are playing and how good Tobias Myers looked in his last start against Cincinnati, I have no choice here, guys. I've got to side with the Milwaukee Brewers at a pretty reasonable -130. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Cubs come into this game fresh off of winning the first 2 games of this series. They won 5-3 and 7-6. Chicago's actually won their last 5 games in a row and 8 out of their last 9 overall. They're still 10 games back of Milwaukee, so not exactly putting pressure on them, but we'll see what they can do here, handing the ball to Jameson Taillon, who's 9-8 this season with a 3.85 ERA. His last start, not the best, guys. Honestly, his last 4 starts have all been pretty problematic. A bad start at the Pirates, not a great start against Detroit. Like, he's just not throwing the ball great right now after, looking very good at the beginning of the season. In terms of their bullpen, Chicago has been looking good, though, guys. They're top, 8 or 9 in the majors with a 3.74 bullpen ERA. Those are definitely the kind of numbers that will work, and the offense has come alive for the Cubs, guys. 5, 7, 14, 9, and 18 runs over their last few games. Absolutely crazy, crazy stuff out there. They're up to 15th in the majors in runs scored, 12th in the majors in on-base percentage. Like, this offense absolutely killing it right now. So we'll see what they can do against the Nationals, who come into this team, obviously come into this game fresh off of back-to-back losses. They, at 61 and 75, not having a crazy good year. They're hitting the ball to Mitchell Parker in this game. He's 7-8 overall with a 4.26 ERA. He's coming off of a pretty good start against the Yankees, guys. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. For a 24-year-old Nationals pitcher going up against the Yankees, I think we can count that as, not at least the worst outing in the world, but, he's a young guy. I expect some inconsistency. We'll see what he can do in this one. We'll also see what their bullpen can do, guys. A 4.00 bullpen ERA has the Nationals right there in the middle of the pack in terms of their bats, guys. They have been hitting the ball a little bit recently. I mean, 3, 6, 5, and 4 runs over their last few is not terrible numbers for this Nationals team. They're 14th in the majors in batting average and 15th in the majors in on-base percentage, but they're in the bottom third of the majors in both runs scored and slugging percentage. Honestly, guys, this just isn't an offense that I'm very scared of, so we'll see what they can do out there. The odds makers aren't super high on them either. We've got the Cubs at -130, the Nationals at +116. We've got an over-under of 9 in this game. The Cubs are 33 and 37 on the road, so not a great road team. The Nationals are 32 and 35 at home, so nothing special there. In terms of the over-under, we don't really have any major trends to go towards in this game either. Generally speaking, guys, I know this seems weird to go for the Cubs to, win another game here, but that's not a good enough price for me on the Nationals. The Cubs bats are red hot right now, so I'm definitely leaning towards the Cubs. Is this going in the pinned comment, though? I don't trust Tyone enough at the moment. Next up, guys, we've got the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Cardinals come into this game fresh off of a fairly shocking 6-5 win there at the Yankees in Game 2 of that series. At 68 and 68 on the year, though, St. Louis not heading anywhere too fast. They're hitting the ball in this one to Miles Michaelis. He's 8 and 10 this season with a 5.23 ERA, coming off a pretty mediocre start against the Padres. 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. Honestly, for Michaelis this season, that's a pretty decent start. Obviously, a big step down from that insane start he had against the Milwaukee Brewers, but that was his best start of the season. Not expecting miracles from Michaelis in this game. The Cardinals bullpen also trending down just a hair. A 3.70 bullpen ERA, though, is absolutely not terrible. In terms of their offense, maybe we're seeing a slight uptick here. 6, 3, 4, and 4 runs over their last few games, though, not exactly filling me with tons of optimism. They're 25th in the majors in runs scored and 21st in the majors in slugging percentage. Offense has been a problem for the Cardinals all season long. We'll see what they can do here against the Yankees, who come into this one having a bit of a rough time. They've actually dropped 3 out of their last 4 to fall to 79 and 57 on the season. They're giving the ball to Nestor Cortez in this game. He's 8 and 10 this year with a 3.89 ERA. His last 3 starts at least have all been very, very good, guys. A great start at the Nationals, a good start at home against the Cleveland Guardians, and a predictably good start against the White Sox. So, yeah, pretty happy with how Cortez is throwing the ball right now. Obviously, those aren't the toughest hitting opponents, but he's going up against the Cardinals in this game, not the toughest hitting opponent in this one. In terms of their bullpen, guys, we see the Yankees be pretty good. A 3.61 bullpen ERA. Definitely some big positives there. Maybe not the elite numbers they were putting up at the very beginning of the season, but still some pretty good stuff to be said about this Yankees bullpen. And the bats, guys, the bats have been a little bit MIA recently. I mean, they've scored 5, 6, 2, 2, and 5 runs over their last few games. Seems like they're very much due for some sort of outburst here, because this has not been the norm for this Yankees team this season. Obviously, Aaron Judge putting up cartoon numbers. They're the second highest scoring team in the major leagues and the second highest slugging percentage team. So looking at the numbers for this game, we get the Cardinals at +170, the Yankees at -195. We got an over-under of 9 in this game. The Cardinals, not a very good road team. The Yankees, a pretty decent home team. 37 and 30 at home isn't exactly what I've expected. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under, with the Cardinals being an under team on the road and the Yankees being a significant over team at home. Not too interested in that over-under in this one, guys, and it's too expensive of a price to just take the Yankees straight up, but I really like New York in this spot. I think taking them -1.5 at a price of around +100 or +104 seems extremely appealing. I think that we're going to jump on Michaelis. I think they're going to kill it out there. The offense is going to go crazy. This is going to be a big win for the Yankees. Moving right along here, guys, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Red Sox come to this game fresh off of a 2-1 loss there in Game 2 of this series. They got dominated by Skubal. That has happened to a lot of teams this season. The Red Sox are going to be handing the ball to Cooper Criswell in this game. He's 5-4 on the year with a 4.34 ERA. He's coming off of a short but I guess effective start his last time out against the Toronto Blue Jays. 3 1/3 innings. He gave up 5 hits but only a single earned run. It was a game we eventually saw Boston win 6-3, and Boston has actually won won in the last 4 games that he's appeared in, so I guess we can give him some credit, but man, that outing against Baltimore really left a lot to be desired. So yeah, generally speaking, Criswell, not somebody I'm super high on. I'm also very, very low on this Boston bullpen. A 4.44 bullpen ERA has them in the bottom 6 in the majors. A lot falls on the shoulders of this offense. Obviously, they weren't up to it yesterday. They've scored 1, 7, 0, 3, and 6 runs over their last few games, so not swinging the hottest bats. They are still very clearly a top 10, maybe top 5 offense in the major league, so we'll see what they can do in this one. We see them going up here against the Tigers, who don't have a confirmed starter for this game after Skubal. I mean, he was the first pitcher this season with 200 strikeouts. He's looking insane out here. The Tigers at 69 and 68 on the year, actually a little bit better after the trade deadline than I thought they would be. With no confirmed starter here, guys, we have to look at the possibility of this being a bullpen start for Detroit. And honestly, their bullpen looking above average right now, guys. A 3.85 ERA coming out of the pen. Nothing to really turn your nose up at. The offense can be questionable, guys. They've scored 2, 6, 0, 3, 6, and 6 runs over their last few games. They're 19th in the majors in runs scored, 24th in the majors in batting average, though, and 28th in the majors in on-base percentage. Just not an offense that I really feel like I can trust. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Red Sox at minus 118, the Tigers at plus 100. We got an over-under of 9.5 in this game. Boston actually somehow a very good road team, 39 and 27 on the road. Detroit 33 and 34 at home, so not the best home team. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under. Boston's actually a big over team when playing on the road, and Detroit really not much of a trend here at all. So guys, if you wanted to take a look at over 9.5, I could definitely get behind that, with this looking like it's going to be a bullpen start from the Tigers, and Criswell out there for Boston not looking amazing. That being said, I do lean slightly towards Boston in terms of the side, but really, guys, neither one of these are going in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, you're looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Pirates coming to this game fresh off of a 3-0 win there in Game 2 of this series. They needed that win to snap a 4-game losing streak. At 63 and 72, though, guys, the Pirates season is pretty much over. They're going to be handing the ball to Mitch Keller in this game. He's had a good year, 11 and 8 with a 3.84 ERA. His last start left a lot to be desired, though. He was going up against the Cubs, 4 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs allowed in a game we eventually saw the Pirates lose 18-8. So yeah, definitely not his best stuff out there. Big question marks here for me about Mitch Keller. He's been decent this season, I suppose, but over his last 4 starts, I would say 3 of them have been really bad. So we'll see what we get out of him in this one. I'm not going to be holding my breath. I'm also never holding my breath with this Pirates bullpen. They're fourth worst in the major leagues, guys, with a 4.65 bullpen ERA. That is real bad. Big concerns there for me about this Pirates bullpen. Every single time they're out there on the mound, seems like it's time for some fireworks for the opposing offense. In terms of the Pirates offense, it has not been great. 3, 8, 10, 5, and 8 runs over the last few sounds good, but it has not been enough for them to be winning games. They're 22nd in the majors in runs scored, 25th in the majors in slugging percentage. Brian Reynolds hasn't exactly been hitting the cover off the ball lately, so yeah, significant concerns for me about the Pirates offense here as they go up against the Guardians, who only have a 2.5 game lead there in the AL Central. They've won 2 out of their last 3 games, but coming off getting shut out has to be a little bit embarrassing. They're going to be handing the ball to Alex Cobb in this game. He's coming off the IL here. The last time we saw him on the mound, he did look very good against the Cubs. That was back on the 14th of August. So, not that long ago, he stayed at the minimum amount of time on the 15-day IL. So we'll see if he can bounce back quick. It's going to be interesting to see. He's a veteran out there, 36 years old. So yeah, we'll see what we get from Alex Cobb in this game. I'm expecting relatively good things, and I'm always expecting great things from that Cleveland bullpen, guys. A 2.80 bullpen ERA has them tied for the top spot in the majors. The question for this team usually is their offense, guys. They've scored 0, 10, 7, 1, and 4 runs over the last few games. They need Juan and Ramirez to really carry the load. They're 12th in the majors in runs scored, which is nice, but 21st in batting average, 17th in on-base percentage. This just isn't an offense that I completely trust. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Pirates at plus 125, the Guardians at minus 144. We've got an over-under in this one of 8.5. The Pirates are 30 and 36 on the road. Cleveland is 42 and 24 at home. That's pretty impressive home numbers, guys. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under. Not much to look at there for the Pirates, but Cleveland is a huge over team at home. They're 38, 24, and 4 to the over at home. If you wanted to take a look at over 8.5, I could definitely get behind that here, with Cleveland likely to score some runs and the Pirates bullpen so bad. And yeah, I'm not necessarily sold on Alex Cobb, so we could see the Pirates put up some runs too, but generally speaking, I'm leaning towards the Guardians in this game. Is it one of my favorite plays? Absolutely not, but I think there's probably some value to be found there. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. First of all, this is a great time to sign up at stumpthespread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our entire team of cappers covering MLB MLB, NCAA football, UFC, and the NFL. If you just want to test out the service, a great way to do that is by joining our free email list, which will get you the occasionally free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just go ahead and click that link in the description. It'll take you right over to stumpthespread.com. Also, guys, just to clarify some of the questions we've been getting in the emails and in the comments, I am not the MLB capper for stumpthespread.com. These YouTube picks are obviously free to everyone and are just what I am seeing out there. We have an expert with nearly 15 years of experience that covers MLB and has a very strong algorithm and some very cool tools that he uses to bring our premium members the best picks possible. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new. Now back to the games. Moving right along here, guys, we're looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Padres come into this game fresh off of an 11-4 loss in Game 2 of this series. Not what they were looking for, but at 77-61 in the year, they're kind of chilling at this point. They're hitting the ball to Dylan Cease, who's 12-10 this season with a 3.57 ERA. His last couple of starts haven't been amazing. His last time was actually a bit of a debacle against the Cardinals. He went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 earned runs. It was a game we eventually saw the Padres get the 7-5 win, but yeah, clearly not his best stuff out there in that one. We'll see what he can do here against the Tampa Bay Rays. Not really the hardest hitting opponent. In terms of their bullpen, the Padres have not been terrible here down the stretch. A big change from what they were looking at early in the season coming out of the pen. A 3.90 ERA, not lights out, but also not a disaster. In terms of their offense, they've scored 4, 13, 1, and 3 runs over their last few games. Pretty inconsistent. We've seen Machado do some good stuff in this series, but yeah, overall, maybe not an offense that I'm in love with at this point in the season. You would have expected some more consistency. They are the top batting average team in the majors, and they're 7th overall in runs scored, so not a disaster, obviously, but maybe not swinging the hottest bats at the moment. They're taking on the Tampa Bay Rays in this game, a team that's really not headed anywhere important this season, but, you know, still showing some pride out there. They're handing the ball to Ryan Pepiot, who's 7-6 this year with a 3.61 ERA. He's coming off of a pretty solid start there, guys, against Seattle. I mean, he did give up 5 runs, but only 2 of them were earned. He gave up a couple of home runs, which isn't great, but generally speaking, he's been throwing the ball great since coming back off the IL. Definitely great things coming from Pepiot right now. The Rays bullpen has also been very respectable, guys, somewhere around 10th in the majors with a 3.84 bullpen ERA. The question for this team is always, are they going to come up with any offense? 28th in the majors in runs scored, 28th in the majors in batting average. They are coming off a game where they scored 11 runs, but that is absolutely not the norm for this offense. So looking at the numbers for this one, we've got the Padres at -126, the Rays at +110. We've got an over-under of only 7 in this game, which is crazy, crazy low to me. The Padres are 39-28 on the road, so a pretty good road team. Tampa Bay is 34-35 at home, so for a team that's, you know, hovering around 500, that makes a lot of sense. We've got both teams actually showing trends towards the under, but very, very small ones in this spot. Generally speaking, guys, I do think over 7 is in play. I know we've got 2 good pitchers on the mound, but I think 7 runs, not really a very big number. I also am leaning slightly towards the Padres to bounce back in this spot after losing last night, but is this really a pick that I have enough confidence in to put in the pinned comment? I would have to go with no. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Royals come into this game fresh off of another loss. They've now dropped 4 in a row after, you know, such an incredible high there, winning 3 games in a row against Cleveland. Now they've lost 4 in a row. Like, what is going on here? They're giving the ball to Alec Marsh, who's 7-7 this season with a 4.67 ERA. His last start was at Cleveland. He went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. Only 2 of them were earned, though. He's honestly been throwing the ball a little bit better here down the stretch, but definitely not one of my favorite Kansas City Royals starters by any stretch of the imagination. We'll see what he can do here against the Astros, but I'm not going to be holding my breath. The Royals bullpen has also been a big concern here down the stretch for them, guys. They are 25th in the majors with a 4.45 bullpen ERA, and the offense is also sputtering, guys. They've scored 2, 2, 3, and 5 runs over their last few games. That is not going to get the job done. Bobby Witt Jr. trying to carry the load here, but yeah, guys, 6th in the majors in runs scored, 6th in the majors in batting average. These are numbers that are trending down, though, after, you know, just not having a good time so far in this series against the Astros, who come into this one winners of 4 in a row. They've now got a 4.5 game cushion in the AL West. They're going to be handing the ball to Ronel Blanco in this one. He's 9-6 this season with a 3.14 ERA. His last start was at the Phillies, and he was pretty good out there. 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. Not a lot to complain about there, except for the fact he didn't get any run support, and the Astros lost that game 3-2. In terms of their bullpen, Houston's been much, much better here down the stretch. They're actually 5th in the majors right now with a 3.82 3.54 bullpen ERA. Nothing wrong with that. And the offense kind of coming alive. I mean, 5, 3, 6, and 10 runs over their last few games will definitely get the job done. They're 13th in the majors in runs scored, but still 3rd in batting average, 9th in on base percentage. Like, this is an offense that I always feel like should be producing a little bit better than it is. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Royals at plus 140, the Astros at minus 165. We've got an over under of 8.5 in this one. Kansas City is 34 and 33 on the road. Houston is 37 and 29 at home, a very good home team. We've got both teams showing trends towards the under here, very similar looking trends. Both teams are 36 and 27 to the under in this situation. So are we interested in that under of 8.5? I, for one, am not, guys. I don't have enough faith here in Alec Marsh or the Kansas City pitching staff in general. I am looking at taking the Astros in this one. Minus 165, though, is just not a very appealing price. That is going to be my lean in this game. Is it going in the pinned comment? I would say no, but I do think we are very likely to see Houston win this game and sweep this 4-game series. Next up, guys, we're looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Mets come into this game winners of their first 2 games of this series, 5-3 and 5-1 respectively. They're going to be handing the ball to Sean Manaea in this game. He's 10-5 this season with a 3.51 ERA. His last start was against the Diamondbacks, and he was pretty good. 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs allowed in a game we eventually saw the Mets get the win. So good stuff from Manaea in that one for sure. No doubt about that. He's been very good this season, generally speaking. In terms of the Mets bullpen, definitely some question marks there, guys. They're a little bit below MLB average with a 4.03 bullpen ERA, but going up against a team like the White Sox, that might not be the biggest concern. The offense, not necessarily killing it right now. I mean, 5, 5, 3, 5, and 8 runs over their last few games. Not scoring more than 5 runs in either the first 2 games against the White Sox isn't an amazing look. They are 11th in the majors in runs scored, 12th in the majors in batting average, batting nearly 250 as a team. They're 9th in the majors in slugging percentage. Like, seems like it's just a matter of time until this team has some sort of, breakout offensive performance. So we'll see what they can do here against the White Sox, who come into this game on another long losing streak. They've dropped 9 in a row. They're hitting the ball to Garrett Crochet in this game, one of their few bright spots of the season. He's 6-9 this year with a 3.64 ERA. His last outing, he didn't even make it, into the game. It was like a weird, I want to say it was a rain situation. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, this dude, he's been throwing the ball well, but the White Sox have been severely limiting his, pitch count and his innings and stuff like that. No reason to use him up here in a pointless season. So all that translates into a big dose of that Chicago White Sox bullpen, which is a huge problem, guys. They are second to last in the majors with a 5.03 bullpen ERA. This is a comically bad bullpen and a comically bad offense, guys. They are dead last in the majors in runs scored, dead last in the majors in slugging percentage. They are also last in on base percentage. No good hitters to run out there. They've scored 3, 1, 1, 3, and 1 runs over their last few games. Absolutely crazy, terrible, guys. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Mets at minus 170, the White Sox at plus 148. We've got an over-under of 8.5 in this one. Guys, I think we have to be looking at the Mets minus 1.5 in this spot. It's a very reasonable price, only minus 105. Yeah, I mean, the Mets are a good road team. Chicago is the worst home team in Major League Baseball. In terms of the trends towards the over-under, we really don't have anything huge to look at here, guys, and I really just think the play is that Mets minus 1.5. I think they're very live to just finish this thing off here behind a solid start from Manaea and some good hitting, at least against that bullpen, if not against Crochet himself, who has looked very hittable at times here down the stretch. Next up, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Blue Jays come into this game fresh off of a crazy 15-0 blowout, shutout win there at Minnesota in Game 2 of that series. At 67 and 71 on the year, though, not exactly heading anywhere important. They're giving the ball to Yariel Rodriguez in this one. He's 1-6 overall with a 4.82 ERA. His last start, not a very good one at Boston, guys. 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs allowed. His last 3 starts have all been very concerning. Not what you would be hoping to see from him, although, the dude has not necessarily been a monster over the course of this season. He did get off to a hot start there, but yeah, not a lot of great things for me to say about Yariel Rodriguez right now, and no good things for me to say about that Toronto bullpen. 3rd worst in the majors, a 4.75 bullpen ERA. That is really bad stuff. Obviously, offensively, they're coming off of a crazy game, but they've scored 15, 2, 0, 2, 0, and 3 runs over the last few games. This is not a great offensive team. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored, 20th in the majors in slugging percentage. Like, this just is not a great offensive team, despite the fact they're coming off of such a good game. They're taking on the Twins in this one, who are definitely in a huge bounce back spot. They're really floundering here down the stretch, guys. They've lost, 6 out of their last 7 games to fall to 73 and 62 on the year. They're 3.5 games back of Cleveland in the AL Central. They're going to be giving the ball to Bailey Ober in this one. He's 12-6 overall with a 4.06 ERA after his terrible start his last time out against the Atlanta Braves. Yeah, he gave up 9 runs in 2 innings, guys. Not his best stuff. He's been good this season, don't get me wrong. Like, Ober has had a good year, but clearly was not ready, didn't have his good stuff. We expect this to be a decent bounce back spot for him going up against Toronto, a team he pitched against back in May and went 6 1/3 innings, gave up only a single hit and struck out 10. So very, very good stuff from Ober in his last start against the Blue Jays. The Twins bullpen, I'm not going to, be playing alarm bells yet, but guys, a 3.93 bullpen ERA, not what you want for a team that's looking to, finish things out down the stretch here very, very strong. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about this pitch situation for the Twins unless we see Ober look really, really good. I do expect the offense to bounce back a bit. They're 10th in the majors in runs scored, 8th in the majors in batting average, but they scored 0, 2, 1, and 6 runs over their last few games. Seems like time for a bit of a bounce back to me. The Blue Jays are plus 160 in this game. The Twins are minus 188. We got an over-under of 8.5 in this one. Toronto, not a very good road team, 32 and 38 on the road. The Twins, a pretty good home team, 38 and 29 at home. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under, and none of them are really significant trends. That over-under of 8.5, I would maybe lean slightly towards the over, but generally speaking, guys, I think taking the Twins at home in this spot makes a lot of sense. At minus 188, I don't know if I love it, so you might want to look at a minus 1.5, but generally speaking, this isn't a game that I have a ton of value on, especially since we don't 100% know what to expect from Ober. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Oakland A's going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The Athletics come into this game fresh off a 3-2 loss there in game 2 of this series at 59 and 77 on the year. Not exactly headed anywhere exciting. They're going to be giving the ball to Mitch Spence in this game, who's 7-9 on the season with a 4.54 ERA. His last start was a very good one, guys, at the Cincinnati Reds. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, only a single earned run, and struck out 3. His start before that against Tampa Bay, he did have 10 strikeouts, but he also gave up 4 earned runs over 7 innings. So yeah, this guy's not super consistent. We'll see what we get out of him in this one. I'm not exactly going to be holding my breath here for a positive outcome for him. In terms of their bullpen, guys, we have seen good stuff from the Oakland A's this season. Top 10 in the majors with a 3.75 bullpen ERA. Definitely playable stuff there. In terms of their offense, they've scored 2, 9, 9, 9, and 5 runs over their last few games, so not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. They're only 24th in the majors in runs scored and 25th in the majors in batting average, but still, guys, I think this is a slightly underrated offensive team. Like, they can put up some runs, not all the time, but generally speaking, they can hit the ball a little bit, so we'll see what they can do here against the Rangers, who come into this game winners of 4 out of their last 5 overall. They're 64 and 72 on the year, though, so a lot of work still to do. They're handing the ball to Walter Pennington in this game. He's a bullpen guy, guys. So we're looking at a bullpen type start here from the Texas Rangers, and that is not usually a good thing. They are, 24th in the majors with a 4.42 bullpen ERA. That's not great. We have seen decent stuff from Pennington here down the stretch, but he did have a 3-inning outing at Cleveland where he got shelled, so that's a little bit concerning. We'll see what we get out of the Rangers pitching staff in this game, generally speaking. I'm not super excited about it. How do I feel about their offense? They scored 3, 2, 2, 4, and 3 runs over their last few games. Guys, that's freaking bad. This is not a good offensive team. Corey Seager obviously doing what he can. This team, generally speaking, not giving up on the season. I mean, we see Scherzer trying to make the comeback and stuff like that. They're 23rd in the majors in runs scored, 24th in the majors in slugging percentage. I don't know, guys. I just don't have a ton of faith in this offense. They're not swinging the hottest bats right now. And looking at the numbers for this game, we've got Oakland at plus 115, the Rangers at minus 135. We got an over-under in this game of 9. Oakland's 26 and 41 on the road, so a very bad road team. The Rangers are 34 and 32 at home, which is pretty impressive for a team that's below 500 to be above 500 at home. They are also a huge under team, guys. The Rangers are 42, 22, and 2 to the under at home. Guys, with an over-under of 9 out there and both teams showing trends towards the under and neither team swinging very hot bats, I think under 9 is the value in this one. I don't know if it's enough value for me to end up putting this in the pinned comment. Seems like maybe a slight stretch here since we're going to have the Rangers bullpen out there a bunch, but guys, 9 is a very big number, so I think there's some value on the under. Moving right along here, guys, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. The Orioles come into this game 78 and 59 on the year, 1.5 games back in the AL East, so trailing the Yankees there. They're coming off a 7-5 loss, so that's got to be a little bit embarrassing to be losing games at Colorado. We don't have a confirmed starter yet for the Orioles, which is a little bit annoying. Definitely need to be up on that information here. Over the course of the season, their starting pitching has been pretty good. I mean, they're 6th in the majors in quality starts, 10th in the majors in total batting average against. So good stuff to say about their starting pitching, generally speaking, although we don't really know if they're going to be running an actual starter out there or if this is going to be some sort of bullpen situation. If it is, we're definitely concerned about that Orioles bullpen, guys. They're in the bottom half of the majors with a 4.01 bullpen ERA. That is not what you were hoping to see this season as a Baltimore Orioles fan, and especially since the bullpen looked quite a bit better there in the early going. So we'll see what happens. I'm a little bit concerned about their pitching situation in this game. Am I concerned about this offense? Well, guys, at most points in the season, I would have said absolutely not. This offense is the best, maybe one of the best, maybe the second best, somewhere in the top 2 or 3 in the majors. But right now, they've scored 5, 3, 4, and 3 runs over their last few games. They're down to 3rd in the majors in the runs scored. They're 10th in the majors in batting average still, 11th in the majors in on-base percentage. They're the top slugging percentage team still, but this is just not the same hitting team that we were seeing earlier in the year, guys. We've seen pretty much everybody take a dip here in the second half of the season, just not looking as good, not looking as confident or as powerful up there at the plate. So we'll see what they can do here against the Colorado Rockies, who come into this game fresh off of that 7-5 win. Nice story there for the Rockies to win some games. They're 51-85 on the season, though, so not really going to be doing anything positive this year. They're going to be handing the ball in this one to Cal Quantrill, who's 8-9 this season with a 4.63 ERA. He didn't look great in his last appearance, guys, on Tuesday against the Marlins. 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. Not exactly what they were hoping to see out of him. And we can also not help but notice the Rockies have lost 4 out of his last 5 starts. So yeah, not great stuff there. That being said, the Rockies are losing pretty much all their games. So, at this point, not a lot to play for. But we'll see what we get out of Quantrill in this game. I'm not expecting miracles. I'm also only expecting disasters from that Colorado bullpen, guys. Last in the majors with a 5.62 bullpen ERA. That is pretty terrible stuff there, no doubt about that. A lot of the onus for winning games falls on that Rockies offense, and they haven't been amazing this season. They are coming off a game where they scored 7 runs, and they've scored 7, 3, 8, and 8 runs over the last few games. But yeah, I'm just not holding my breath here about this Rockies offense. Even getting to play half their games at Coors Field, they're still only 17th in the majors in runs scored and 20th in the majors in on-base percentage. Those just aren't the kind of numbers that I expect to see from a team that I think is going to be great offensively. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Orioles at -178, the Rockies at +150. We've got an over-under of 11 out there. Baltimore's 39-28 on the road, so that's pretty solid. Colorado 31-34 at home, so not even above 500 at home this season. Baltimore is an MLB best 40-24-3 to the over on the road. Colorado is 34-30-1 to the under at home, and with an over-under number of 11. Even if we see this be like a full bullpen start from the Orioles, then maybe we would like the over, but probably not enough to put it in the pinned comment. If you're asking me to pick a side in this game, I honestly think the value might be on the Rockies +150, a chance to pull off another win here. Not loving how Baltimore's playing right now, not loving their starting pitching situation for this game. Obviously, you got to check back and see who ends up actually starting it for them, but this is not a spot I'm interested in at all. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Marlins come into this game fresh off of a 4-3 win there at San Francisco in Game 2 of this series. At 50-86 on the year, obviously they're not a team that's really aiming to compete, but has to feel nice to get those occasional wins. Unfortunately, we do not have a confirmed starter for the Marlins yet, which if that ends up meaning that we have a bullpen start from Miami, that is a really bad situation. Not that their starting pitchers have been much better this season. They are dead last in the major leagues in quality starts this year, but their bullpen is sporting a 4.14 bullpen ERA. That's pretty terrible, guys. It's something like 22nd in the majors. Not great looking there, and also the offense isn't looking amazing either. 4, 1, 12, and 2 runs over their last few games. Just not a very good hitting team, guys. They are sitting somewhere around 29th in the majors in runs scored, 29th in the majors on base percentage. Like, just not a lot of positives for this Miami Marlins team here down the stretch. They're taking on the Giants, who come into this game having a rough time, losing 3 out of their last 4 to fall to 68 and 69 on the year. They're giving the ball to Logan Webb in this one. He's 11-8 this season with a 3.24 ERA. His last start was not the best. 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs allowed. Not great stuff there. He gave up 2 home runs in that one. It was at the Milwaukee Brewers, so not exactly the easiest pitching situation, but still you would hope for a little bit better from him. He hasn't taken on the Marlins yet this season, so nothing to be gleaned from that, but we also can take a look at the Giants bullpen. A 4.10 bullpen ERA coming from the Giants is obviously not ideal, so the hope here would be that Webb could have a longer start than his last one, only lasting 5 innings, but we'll see what he can get done out there. I'm expecting good stuff from him, generally speaking. What do we expect in this Giants offense? That has been a big problem, guys. 3-3-0 and 3 runs over their last few games. They're down to 18th in the majors in runs scored, 19th in the majors in slugging percentage. Like, there's no really good way around it, guys. This is a below average offensive team. So definitely concerned about that heading into this game. And looking at the numbers for this one, we've got the Marlins at plus 194, the Giants at minus 235. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this one. Miami 24-42 on the road, a really bad road team. San Francisco actually a very good home team at 39-28 at home. Guys, if you wanted to take a look at taking the Giants minus 1.5 here, you can get it at plus 100 still, it looks like. That seems very appealing to me with Webb on the mound. I am worried about that Giants offense, but I think Webb's in for a very, very good start in this one, so I think that could put them in a position to, figure this out here. And the Marlins bullpen has been so bad down the stretch. It definitely makes sense to me. In terms of the over-under, we've got both teams showing fairly significant trends towards the under in this situation, but with an over-under of only 7.5, guys, there's no way I'm getting on that. Just give me the Giants minus 1.5 in this spot. I think there's some value to be had. Moving into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. The Mariners and Angels are actually playing right now. We just saw the Angels take the lead there in the bottom of the 9th inning, so that's going to be a tough loss there for the Mariners to swallow. They're handing the ball in this one to Bryce Miller, hoping he can right the ship a little bit. He's 10-7 this year with a 3.23 ERA. He's coming off a fantastic start against the Rays, where he gave up only a single earned run over 7 innings of work. In a game we saw Seattle win 5-1. He also struck out 10 in that game, so very impressive stuff in that one. We'll see what he can do here against the Angels, a team that he hasn't pitched against since back in June, but he was very good in that outing, so expecting great stuff from Bryce Miller in this one. No major surprise there. The Mariners bullpen obviously not having the best time here down the stretch. A 3.83 bullpen ERA is not insanely good, and obviously they just lost that game late, so that's not a great look either. The Mariners offense has been a big problem all season long. They've been swinging the bats a little bit better as of late. I mean, they scored 9 runs in game 1 of this series, 6 runs in the last game of their series against Tampa Bay. So, maybe there's some good stuff to be said about this offense trending in a positive direction, but overall, guys, their season-long numbers are not very good. They're taking on the Angels in this one, or obviously coming off of that nice win. They're 55-80 on the year, though, so yeah, not exactly ideal. They're hitting the ball to Caden Dana in this game. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is a young 20-year-old dude coming up from the minor leagues. I am not expecting miracles out of him. We'll see what we get from him. Obviously, it's an exciting situation for him, but yeah, definitely a little bit problematic to think he's going to come up with a bunch of success in his first appearance. In terms of their bullpen, the Angels are not very good. A 4.11 bullpen ERA leaves an awful lot to be desired out there, and yeah, just not feeling like this is a great situation for their pitching staff in general. The offense obviously coming off of a decent game, but haven't been swinging the hottest bats here lately, scoring 5, 3, 2, 2, 2, and 1 runs in their last several games. The Angels are 27th in the majors in runs scored, 27th in the majors in slugging percentage. Like, this is one of the 3 or 4 worst offenses in Major League Baseball here down the stretch, so not a lot of good things for me to say about them. Looking at the numbers for this game, guys, we got the Mariners at minus 158, the Angels at plus 136. We've got an over-under of 9 in this game. Seattle is 28-38 on the road. The Angels are only 27-41 this season at home. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under, with the Mariners actually being an over team on the road and the Angels being a slight under team at home. That over-under number of 9 doesn't really get me going too much. I think you could maybe side a little bit under 9, but guys, I really like the Mariners minus 158 in this spot. I know it's a bit of an expensive price, but I think they win this game the vast majority of the time. If it was a team with a normal offense, I'd probably take a minus 1.5, but just taking the Mariners minus 158 in this spot is good enough for me. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Dodgers come into this game fresh off of an 8-6 win there in game 2 of this series. The Dodgers are now 82-54 on the year, handing the ball in this one to Justin Robleski, who's 1-1 this season with a 4.68 ERA. His last start was at the Cardinals. It wasn't amazing, guys. 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs allowed, so not a disaster. It's his first start back with the big league club after being gone for a little bit, so we'll see what he can do out there. He's a young 24-year-old. I'm not expecting him to be a, mountain of consistency. In terms of their bullpen, the Dodgers have been good all year long, guys. They're currently 4th in the majors in bullpen ERA. Not expecting a lot of trouble from their bullpen, but very worried about their young starter out there. The offense is absolutely cruising, though, guys. They've scored 8, 10, 6, and 6 runs over their last few games. They are just killing it. This is the best offense in baseball, or one of the best couple. I mean, 4th in the majors in runs scored, 9th in the majors batting .252 as a team. They're also 4th in on base percentage. We're seeing crazy stuff from Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. Like, this whole lineup is looking crazy once again now that they're healthy. So we'll see what they can do against the Diamondbacks, who desperately need a win here. They're back down to 6 games behind the Dodgers. They're 76-60 on the year, handing the ball in this one to Braden Pfaadt, who's 8-7 on the season with a 4.31 ERA. His last start was an absolute disaster against the Mets. His start before that was at the Marlins, and he wasn't that much better. This is a guy that's been floundering here a bit down the stretch, even against some weak opponents. So he's going up against the absolute opposite of a weak opponent in this game. He did have a decent start against the Dodgers back in May, but I don't see much reason to think that is going to repeat itself in this one. So looking at the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen, they're a little bit better than they were, but not having a great time recently. A 4.07 ERA coming down the stretch here might not be enough to get the job done. The offense is where this team really hangs their hat, guys, and they've been putting up decent numbers: 6, 9, 2, 8, and 3 runs over their last few games. They're first in the majors in runs scored, second in the majors in batting average. They're also the top on base percentage team in the majors. This is a lineup full of sluggers, full of guys that can get on base, full of guys that can hit. I expect them to put up runs against pretty much any opponent. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, we got the Dodgers at -104, the Diamondbacks at -112. We've got an over-under of 9 in this one. The Dodgers are 35-30 on the road. Arizona is 38-29 at home. We've got some mixed trends here. Well, I mean, not much of a trend for the Dodgers, but a big trend towards the over here for Arizona. And guys, I think over 9 is very good value in this one. You could also talk me into the Diamondbacks -112 for sure. You definitely could, but I think the better value in this spot is over 9. I think we're going to see tons of offense once again in this matchup. The Dodgers aren't about to stop hitting the ball here against Pfaadt, and I don't think that the Diamondbacks are going to have any trouble putting up a bunch of runs against a guy like Robleski. So yeah, give me the over in this one, and you could also take the Diamondbacks -112. I've got no problem with that one. Last but not least here, guys, we've got the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies on Sunday Night Baseball. The Braves come into this game fresh off of a 3-0 loss in Game 3 of this series. They've lost 2 out of 3 so far, so they're hoping to just earn the win here in the last one to get the split in this series against the NL East leading Phillies. The Braves are going to be handing the ball in this one to Spencer Schwellenbach, who's 5-6 this year with a 3.72 ERA. He does have a very good start against the Phillies back on the 22nd, guys. He went 6 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits and 2 earned runs in a game we eventually saw Atlanta win 3-2. So good stuff from him in that one. Very good stuff from him in his last start against the Twins. Honestly, this young 24-year-old has been looking very, very good out there on the mound, and he's got a good bullpen behind him too, guys. Third in the majors, the Braves are with a 3.36 bullpen ERA. Nothing wrong with that. The question for this team constantly, though, is where is the offense going to come from? They've scored 0, 7, 4, 5, and 8 runs over their last few games, and honestly, they've been on a bit of a hot streak hitting the ball. That's a hot streak for them, guys. 16th in the majors in runs scored, 16th in the majors in batting average. Obviously, a lot falls on the shoulders of Ozuna in this offense, but man, this is just not a team that I can count on to put up very many runs. So we'll see what they can do here against the Phillies, who come into this game obviously winners of 2 out of their last 3. They're 80-56 on the year with a 6-game cushion in the NL East. They're killing it right now. They're hitting the ball to Aaron Nola, who comes into this game 12-6 on the year with a 3.30 ERA. His last start, he was out there 7 innings against the Houston Astros, gave up only 4 hits, struck out 6, and gave up 0 runs. Over his last 3 starts, he's only given up a total of 2 earned runs. His start on the 21st was against the Atlanta Braves, guys. 5 1/3 innings. He did have 8 hits, so he had to pitch out of trouble quite a bit. So maybe a little bit of luck on his side in that one, but 8 hits, 2 earned runs. He struck out 5 in that outing. So we'll see what we get from him. We'll also see what we get from that Phillies bullpen, which is always a bit of a question mark, guys. They're a little bit below average with a 4.02 ERA, which honestly not as bad as they've been at some other points this season. The Phillies offense cruising along, guys. 3, 2, 5, and 0 runs over the last few. Yeah, is that cruising? I don't think so. This offense is having a bit of a rough time. Harper dealing with elbow being messed up, his wrist maybe being a little bit messed up, like Bomb sitting out games with a hand injury. Like, this offense is not having a great time. So 9th in the majors in runs scored, 4th in the majors in batting average, but those are not the real numbers right now. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Braves at +120, the Phillies at -136. We've got an over-under of 8.5 in this game. Atlanta is 38-33 on the road. The Phillies are 42-24 at home. We've got both teams showing trends towards the under here. They're not massive trends. I mean, Atlanta is 36-31-4 to the under. The Phillies are 34-31-4 to the under. Guys, in this spot, I do think there's a decent chance, maybe some value here on taking the Braves at +120, but I think the real good pick in this game, guys, is that under 8.5. I think we're going to see offense be at a premium. We've got 2 good starters and 1 very good bullpen, and another bullpen that's been throwing the ball well recently. So yeah, guys, go ahead and give me under 8.5. I think this is definitely going in the pinned comment. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out StumpTheSpread.com, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.